Okay, let's give you guys some more practice. So somehow integrate this. So press pause and have a go. Okay, so to do this, this one's quite straightforward. You times top and bottom by the conjugate this. So times top and bottom. This whole thing here will then become this. These two will cancel out, giving you this. And then now it's just a matter of integrating this and this. So integrate it. It will then give you this. This is your final answer. Okay. So next one. So somehow integrate this from 1 to 3. So press pause and have a go. Okay, so to do this, if you can replace this with something, it will tidy itself up. It will look a lot neater. So let u be the square root. Well, if u equals the square root of x, then du equals this thing here times both sides by this, then dx. Then dx here would be this. So we can put this into the dx, and then we can put the u into here and into here. Then this whole thing here, this whole thing here would then become this. We will sort out this and this later on. But before we do that, let's you're trying to integrate with respect to u, but you still got this square root of x in here. So put the u into here, okay? Because u is the square root of x. So so it will then become this. Then this whole thing here will then become this. So now let's sort out this and this, because up here when we were integrating with respect to x, we were integrating from 1 to 3, but because we made this substitution, we need to make the adjustment to this and this. So let's make the adjustment. So let's try and find out this and this. Okay. So hang on, let's go back one step. When we were integrating with respect to x, we were integrating from 1 to 3. We made this substitution that will then take us into the du realm. So let's try and rearrange it. So let's square both sides. So that will then give you this. So really we are integrating from x being 1. So we are really integrating from 1 all the way to 3, all the way to 3. Well, from 1, when x is 1, u will be the square root of 1, which is 1. And then when we, by the time we get up to here, well, if 3 equals this, then you can square root both sides. Then in the du realm, it will be the square root of 3. It will be the square root of 3. So making an adjustment. In the dx realm, we were integrating from 1 to 3, but then in the du realm, we are integrating from 1 to root 3. So what that means is that we now have this and this. Okay. So now it's just a matter of integrating the inverse tan of u from 1 to square root of 3. So to integrate this, and we've done this many times, in order to integrate this, you've got to use integration by parts. So let's just try and concentrate on integrating this. We've done this many times, so you should know this by now. So set this to be 1, set this here to be u. But there's a lot of confusion here because I gave it a bad name. I said let u equals square root of x, but I should have called it something else. But because this u here clashes with this u, but just bear that in mind. Well, to integrate this, we've done this many times. It will then give you this thing here, and then remember, when you differentiate this here is easy to differentiate because when you differentiate this, it will give you u squared plus 1 squared, which is just 1. But we've done this many times. Well, integrate this, it will then give you this. And here we don't really need the absolute value here because when you square something, it's always going to be positive. So just bear that in mind. So now hang on. So from here we were here. Hang on, we were here. If you integrate this, it will then give you this. So hang on, let's go back. So we were here. So we will here integrate this. Then from here it will then take us to here. It will then take us to here. Okay, because hang on, let me go back one step. Sorry. If you look at this whole block here, don't forget you still got the 2 here. Okay, so when you integrate it, it will give you this, but then you've got the 2 out here. So you've got to get this times this and this times this. So this 2 here will cancel out with this half. Well, anyway, it will take you to here. So now it's just a matter of integrating this. So when you put this into the u here, what is tan of square root of 3? Tan of the square root of 3. This is a common value which you should try to remember. If you look at a triangle, an equilateral triangle, 2, 2, 2, split it down the middle here. This would be 1, and then by using Pythagoras, this must be root 3. So it will then give you this. Well, if you look at this triangle here, this is 60 degrees. Well, 60 degrees is really pi over 3, because in radians it would be pi over 3. So this thing here would be pi over 3. Well, if you look at this, what is the if you look at this, if you put this into here, what is the inverse tan of root 3? Well, if you look at this, tan would be this. So the inverse tan would be, inverse of root 3 would be the angle. Every time you think of inverse, you're thinking about the angle. Well, the angle here is pi over 3. Well, inverse tan of root 3 is pi over 3. Okay, it is a common value which you should try to remember. So and then later on you've got to put this into here, and then you've got to ask yourself, what is the inverse tan of 1? Well, think about this triangle where you have 1, 1. Then this here is really 45 degrees, which is pi over 4. So tan of 1. So this is tan 1 divided by 1. So tan of 1 is really pi over 4. So just bear that in mind. Well, this whole thing here will then give you this. Okay, tidy this whole thing up, and it will give you this. Okay.